Welcome to the Zero Employee Company, based on the book by Giovanni Brees. This is the layer that lets an agent get better on its own, the mistakes log. It's layer 4 of the memory stack, and it's where most of the real gains come from. The mechanism is pretty simple. Every time an agent fails or gets corrected, that failure is written down in a fixed structure, and that structure forces one field that turns the failure into an actual improvement. The prevention rule. Here's the exact format, because the format is the whole point. Every entry is a small block with 6 fields. First, a status marker so you can quickly see whether the problem has been handled. Then the task the agent was doing and what actually failed. After that comes the root cause, which isn't necessarily the same thing as the failure itself. Then there's the fix applied at the time. And finally, there's the mandatory field that makes the system work, the prevention rule. In plain terms, it's error, task, what failed, root cause, fix, prevention. 6 lines, that's the schema. The discipline sits in that final line. If a mistake is logged without a prevention rule, that's a diary entry. It isn't learning. You've recorded that something went wrong, but you've done nothing to stop it from happening again. Most people who log agent failures write down what failed and how they fixed it. Then they wonder why the same problem keeps coming back. Well, it keeps coming back because nothing in the log changes what the agent will do next time. The prevention rule is what reaches forward and changes future behavior. Now here's what turns the log into a system instead of a journal. When the same root cause appears twice for the same agent, it doesn't get a third log entry. It triggers a change to that agent's actual instructions. And this can't be some vague note telling the agent to be more careful. A permanent line gets added to the operating brief the agent reads on boot. That means the behavior is physically different the next time the agent starts. Twice is the threshold. The first time may be a fluke, so Giovanni fixes it in place. The second time makes it a pattern, and once it's a pattern, it moves out of the log and into the agent's constitution. That one rule, twice equals a rule change, is why an agent in month 6 makes fundamentally different mistakes from the same agent in month 1. The model hasn't become smarter. Its correction history has piled up as permanent constraints. Each recurring failure gets turned into a guardrail, one at a time, and the agent can't cross it again. Because that guardrail lives in the instructions the agent reads on boot, it takes effect automatically from the very next session. So where does all this live? In a text file. It can be a shared markdown file or a plain text file that every agent can add to. Giovanni can keep one running log for the whole operation, or use a separate one for each agent if there are a lot of them. There's no database. There's no product behind it. The storage isn't where the value comes from. The value comes from the habit. Write the entry as soon as a correction happens, and fill in the prevention field. Then run a scheduled review. Weekly is fine. That review scans the log for any root cause that has appeared twice and moves it into the relevant agent's instructions. Here's the part to sit with. This isn't the model learning. The model is frozen. The thing learning is the wrapper around it. Its instructions and constraints, plus the accumulated record of everything that specific agent got wrong inside your specific business. That wrapper belongs to you, and it compounds over time. It's also why 2 people can run the identical model and get completely different reliability from it. One writes prevention rules. The other fixes the same mistake forever. There is one honest warning. This only works when the prevention rule is specific enough to change behavior. Be careful isn't a prevention rule. Always confirm the recipient's time zone before scheduling is. The test is simple. Could the agent read that line on boot and behave differently because of it? If the answer is no, you've written a feeling rather than a rule. It won't prevent anything. So if you build one thing from this episode, build the 6-field entry and make the prevention line mandatory. Then add the twice equals a rule change sweep. That's the entire self-improvement loop, and it runs on a text file. The next episode is the habit that sits alongside this one and catches a different failure, the confident hallucination, before it ever becomes a mistake worth logging. It is called QMD. Giovanni Brees put the full mistakes log template in the build kit of his book, The Zero Employee Company. Link in the show notes. See you in the next one.